action. Lorraine Lionheart, welcome to the 20th Avenue podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, and thank you for being part of this podcast, part of the interview. Yeah, so can you start off by telling us who is Lorraine Lionheart?
I'm an artist, I'm a music artist. I'm also a music producer. I am a music scholar, so
Uh-huh.
my whole life is all about music. I'm from Botswana,
Mm-hmm.
from the Kalahari region of Botswana, and I
Okay.
am based currently in the United Kingdom.
Mm-hmm. 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 So how did your love for music start?
My love for music, like I love the arts, I love entertainment. So I've always sort of wanted to do something in entertainment and the arts. And as an adult, music became my choice.
Yeah.
But it wasn't something that I sort of grew up thinking I want to be a musician. I just wanted to be in the arts and entertainment, and eventually tried music, and here we are.
Started off as a theater artist.
I wouldn't say started off as a, because I did music in my teens. I used to like try and join bands and stuff like that, and I was always kind of performing in little talent shows in school and everything. But then when I was my sort of early adult life, I tried a bit of theater, and I even went to the UK wanting to study theater,
Mm-hmm.
performing arts for musicals. But then I ended up still choosing to do music instead.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So which music was playing by then during your teens that might have like inspired you?
Wow, I have such a wide taste in music. So, like, I've listened to everything. I never really sort of followed a particular genre of music that is like, oh, this is my favorite type of music.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it kind of just carried on to my career now, because I don't tend to follow a specific genre to say, oh, I'm an Afropop artist or I'm an Afrobeat artist. I kind of just love being adventurous with music and trying everything. So even when, as a music consumer, I still do the same thing, and I've always done that my whole life. I listen to heavy metal, I listen to country music, gospel, you name it, everything. I just listen. There's no particular genre that kind of influenced me.
Mm-hmm.
But as in just artistic influence, I would say my first influence was really from the San music. Just because I grew up there and I lived there, and that's the music that I knew first before seeing what else the world has. So yeah.
Yeah. So you don't have any influences like locally, like Botswana influences that maybe we're listening to, not necessarily that inspired you to be a musician, but that you're vibing to.
The kind of Botswana music that I listen to quite a lot is some that's not really that popular,
Mm-hmm.
and some that is like from way back. I used to listen to artists like, oh gosh, what's his name? He was my Donald Botilo. I think
Don't
he's,
be.
yeah, Don't Be. Oh, I
Yeah.
loved him. I think I believe he passed away,
Yes, yes, he passed away.
which is quite sad. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I loved his music
Yeah.
when I was a kid, and yeah, and I just love how music is so powerful that regardless of even physical disability, you can still do so much. You can still put your message out there in the world. So yeah, he's one person that always sort of come first to my mind when I think of Botswana musicians.
All right, all right. So you moved to the UK. That was about 18 years ago.
Yeah, a long time ago,
Yeah.
I moved to the UK, and initially we just for like a couple of years to study, but 18 years later, I'm still there and I'm still studying.
Studying for a PhD.
I'm doing a PhD in music in the areas of ethnomusicology,
Mm-hmm.
which basically combines the study of cultures and music. And it's just kind of perfect for me because I'm really invested personally in culture and in just our history, not just Botswana, but just Black history in general.
All
So
right.
yeah, my studies, I'm just in the perfect place with that.
So what are your plans upon completing this PhD? You're going to be a researcher, professor, because you're already a lecturer, right?
Yes, I've done a bit of lecturing even before actually I did my PhD while I was still studying for my master's in music production. I was teaching part time, teaching music business at University of Staffordshire.
Mm-hmm.
But I am not really thinking that I should go into teaching after I complete my PhD, because there's just so many other opportunities, so many other things that I feel like would have a more profound or bigger impact
Mm-hmm.
that I would like to get to. Currently, my management team in talks with the United Nations for me to do some work with them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so that's basically the areas that I would like to go. Anything that involves community and good causes, and like just really just using my music more purposely than just going back into like entertainment alone, you know, although that's something that I'll always do for the rest of my life. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm still trying to figure out a more profound purpose for my whole existence and for my career as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Going back to music. So, which producers and artists are you working with actually, like in producing all this music that you're releasing?
I work with many people
Mm-hmm.
from around the world. Like sometimes I'll work on an album, and in that album there could be producers from Canada, Israel, Australia, West Africa, Southern Africa. You know, everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I just love that diverse sound, and just because I consider myself a fusion artist.
Okay.
And because I don't stick to a particular style or genre of music, so I just love working with so many people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think even for the current project that I'm doing for the Commonwealth, I just love the whole idea of sharing platforms and sharing opportunity. So like the song that I've just current my recent project that I did for the Commonwealth, I could have literally just done the song myself
Mm-hmm.
in my home studio and finished it, but I ended up like contacting three producers to get involved and just sharing the platform. So I work with multiple people, and yeah.
All right. All right. All right. So last year you toured Ghana and Nigeria, if not mistaken.
Yes, I did a bit of a media tour
Mm-hmm.
in Ghana and some performances.
Mm-hmm.
But Nigeria is like my second home, really.
Mm-hmm.
I go to Nigeria every year,
Mm-hmm.
mainly for the Celebration Festival,
Mm-hmm.
which is basically a celebration of Fela Kuti's legacy. Because as much as he was a Nigerian artist,
Mm-hmm.
I see him as an African hero, musically in art and other things as well.
Okay.
And I'm a huge Fela Kuti fanatic. I literally have a tattoo of his face
Wow.
on my chest.
Wow. Wow.
So yeah,
Wow.
I go to Nigeria all the time for shows and whatnot. Yeah.
Okay. So there's a question that I asked you earlier on. Like I had said, like it seems like you have a huge fan base in Ghana and Nigeria. How is it that like you've managed to create such a strong relationship with the audience that side?
Yeah, like like growing up here in Botswana, we didn't really have like global music superstars to look up to. Which is a shame because we actually had great musicians here, but they just did not have the global platform. So we would look up to people, artists like Miriam Makeba, from South Africa, um, Hugh Masekela, and of course, for me, I've always sort of been a fan of Fela Kuti.
Mm.
So West Africa was always going to be a place that I was going to keep going and reach out to. And I just resonate with them quite a lot
Mm-hmm.
because for the most part, really, I don't just categorize myself as like, or describe myself as like, I'm just a Motswana artist. I see myself as African, and I'm just fascinated with exploring the whole of Africa. Currently, I even have songs in about 15 or 16 African languages,
Wow.
which is crazy. So I just go to all these countries, and then I try to sort of embrace their cultures, their languages, and embrace them. So therefore, they end up embracing me back, which is,
Mm-hmm.
I think, is a beautiful thing because music is so powerful, and music can unite.
Mm-hmm.
So I think yeah, music is so powerful, and I think that's what happens when I go to West Africa, because I embrace them. I open up to their way of life, their culture. I respect them and love them, and appreciate who they are and their arts. They appreciate me back, and that's, I think, why I've been so welcome in Ghana, places like Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's because I consider myself one of them. Really,
Mm-hmm.
I'm African.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. That's very interesting. So very soon you'll be performing for Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah, that's actually quite a she's 95 this year, right?
Yes, 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 yes.
She's got so much going on. Basically, what it is, I am having to like explain this project
Mm-hmm.
to so many people. So if you just bear with me, what it is, the Queen of well, I wouldn't say England, Britain, has been the leader of obviously the UK and the Commonwealth for 70 years. And it's a huge historic occasion because she's the first one in the whole history of the British monarchy
Mm-hmm.
to actually reach that milestone.
Mm-hmm.
I've witnessed when they did the Diamond Jubilee. That's when they were celebrating her leadership of 50 years,
Yeah.
and now it's the 70th. And I feel like this is going to be one of the last big engagement in her life before she slowly sort of hands over duty to the rest of the family.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I'd worked with I've done projects for the royal family before because I performed for Prince Harry and Meghan
Mm-hmm.
for one of the Commonwealth events, and I've done a few prestigious Commonwealth events as well. So when this came, the Platinum Jubilee came, and they considered me to participate in the music projects for the celebration of the Jubilee. So my engagement in this project was to take the song that is now the Commonwealth, this theme song for this occasion, and it's more like a hymn type song that was written specifically for this, and they wanted somebody to sort of do a version of it
Mm-hmm.
that's a bit different. And of course, I had to sort of bring in my African vibe into it and try and do something that is more young as well and appealing to the Commonwealth youth, throwing in a bit of amapiano and all that. So I recorded this song in London, and they loved it, and then they wanted to see some visuals for it. So I decided then, you know what, this is a huge platform and a good opportunity for so many people, especially back home. So I then decided I was going to come back to Botswana and South Africa and Zambia and places like that, which are part of the Commonwealth, and then do some visuals for this music that showcases our culture, promotes our country and everything, and just celebrate who we are as like Commonwealth countries basically.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I'm here. But the Platinum Jubilee is on the 2nd of June. So the actual performance on that day for the Commonwealth song is not really my main participation or contribution. The rest of the product is where all of the work was.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm actually doing right now in
Okay.
Botswana.
Okay.
But yeah, whether or not the queen is actually going to be at the event, we
Yeah.
don't know yet because of her age and everything else
Okay.
that's going on. But hopefully she will be.
Yeah.
And even if she's not, we're still going to celebrate her all around the world throughout the Commonwealth countries,
Mm-hmm.
and we're still going to be performing. And yeah.
Yeah. So would you say your participation in this project is like it's your peak, like your career peak?
Um, I wouldn't say that because, like, for me, to be honest, I'm not the most superficial of people. I don't really look at things that way.
Mm-hmm.
It is, of course, a huge privilege. I cannot sort of deny that it's a huge privilege and everything. But I don't sort of live my life that way, where I'm aspiring to be like, okay, when I reach a certain number of fan base, or if I reach a certain figures of money in my accounts, then I've made it. Or if I do this and that show, or I want to do, I don't know, Glastonbury, or I want to perform at fill up the O2. I don't have such dreams. I mean, and it's not a criticism to people who have those dreams. For me, my focus is always like, I need purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, when this project came, regardless of how huge, other people sort of view it, for me, it was like, okay, this is actually a platform that I can use for so many other things that affect so many lives. and not just it's bigger than me. So it's not like I'm not too individual in the way I conduct my project or in how I sort of the route that I take in my career. So yes, it is a huge opportunity, but it's difficult to answer this question for me because it's not something that I kind of grew up thinking. Oh, I'd love to perform for so and so and whatnot. Like every single person I perform to or for, whether it's somebody in the street, a homeless person in the street, or whether it's Nelson Mandela, they're still very important. They're still very important for me to perform to. So yeah.
All right. All right. So over the years, like let me just say, maybe about 8 years ago, up to a certain period of time, you were very outspoken online, especially on political related matters,
Uh-huh.
and also the treatment of Basara.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am because it is part of who I am. And at the end of the day, I was born and raised in the Kalahari Desert, and for the most part, the most important years of my life, my childhood, I spent with the San people who helped raise me. So I grew up sort of having a different view and perspective on how they're perceived in Botswana, not just by the government, but by the general public as well. To this day, I still have to correct people on how they talk about the sand, including my family and my friends, And it's just sometimes lack of education. And I just feel like a sense of duty. And I kind of sometimes feel like there's a reason why, if there's a God, why God put me in that place where I had to experience the sand life and experience them, their culture, and appreciate everything, and then throw me into the whole world where I'm now living in London. I've experienced all this kind of life. So I have a very unique perspective when it comes to those kind of issues, and I think it will be unjust for me to be silent. And the thing is, sometimes it comes across as if, oh, she's so outspoken and she just criticizes everything and all that. But at the end of the day, I love Botswana. And regardless of who says what, nobody can ever take that away from me. Botswana is a part of me, is a very important part of my identity. And I'm so proud of Botswana. Like, I wake up every day and I promote Botswana on a global platform. On all my interviews and everything, I always promote Botswana because I love my country. However, I cannot sort of make up Botswana to be just this perfect place, with no flaws. Every country has its flaws and everything. So the fact that I speak out about the issues concerning the sand is because I identify that as something that we as a country can do better. And I just feel like we're a good country, but we should be a good country for everyone, for every Motswana. And the San are also Botswana and they have rights. They should have all the privilege that comes with being a Motswana. And they should just be treated equally. And there's just so many things. But yes, I've always been outspoken about the issues to do with the San, and it's not something that I'm going to stop anytime soon until such time where the San are also, like every other Motswana, are sort of enjoying, like I said, the privileges of being from this country. So yeah, it's something that is very close to my heart, and yeah.
All right. All right. Still talking about online related issues. You've recently grown also to be a content creator.
A what?
A
A
content
content creator.
Yes, a content creator. Yes. You've created content that which has actually grown the brand, the Lionheart brand, the Lorraine Lionheart brand. Just tell us, just take us through your role as a content creator, if you can put it that way.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I'm a content creator as such. I've been called many things. I've been called their Instagram model and
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff. But for me, I'm just building my career, and because for the longest time with musicians, you would wait for somebody to discover you, for somebody to give you opportunities and everything. Like, oh, maybe this producer is going to take me on, or maybe this record label is going to take me on. But now we live in an age where things are a lot easier for us. They're still difficult, of course, but we have the internet that even as an independent artist, you can make it so big and become very successful without the help of these big machines, behind you. So for me, I just kind of taught myself how to sort of, and because I studied marketing as well, but I just kind of use the little that I have and the little that is there at my disposal, like the internet and whatnot, to build my brand. And that's all it is. Like as far as content creators, that's their job. That's what they do. They create content and then make money, out of putting that content out there. But it's not really something that I do. Like, yes, I have a big enough platform online, and I still get people like contacting me, like, oh, can we partner? You promoting this brand and this and that. I'm not really into that yet. I still just have my focus, but just at the same time building my brand, especially online. And again, coming from Botswana, Botswana being such a small country, like population wise, it can be very difficult for us. It's a huge disadvantage actually. Like if you come from Nigeria with over 200 million people, and you're an artist wanting to get your name out there, before you start, you already have at least 1 million, people to sort of say, hey, listen to my music and this and that. But Botswana, we don't have that. So we have to use these online platforms to reach out to the world, and I can't tell you how many times I have to explain to people where Botswana is. Like, you from where? But where? But yeah, so I build this brand just for those reasons, really. But not so much to become a content creator because I don't think that's my path.
Okay, but you've eventually like created also an OnlyFans account.
Yeah, I did. I actually enjoyed being on OnlyFans, and I'm glad that when I did it at the age that I was, because these platforms, as much as they're helpful, especially for somebody who is a student, for extra finances and just for learning, for so many other things, they can be also dangerous, because a lot of people join these platforms and end up, you know, a different direction altogether, doing things that they never really wanted to do. But I joined OnlyFans proudly as a grown woman, mature, educated, and I knew exactly what I was doing, and I was in control of everything that I was doing. I would have carried on because it's good money, and I've got school fees to pay, and I've got a whole lot of stuff. But I kind of just had to stop for a while because of just too much commitment with my university work, and I didn't want it to take over from what I had already invested so much in, in my music and everything. So I'm so happy and proud of myself that I could find that balance, but still enjoy those, whatever privilege come with joining such platforms. And I think for the most part, people sort of have a very, I don't know, misinformed or miseducated idea or perception, sorry, about platforms like OnlyFans, because they tend to think it's like maybe just a pornography website and stuff like that, but it's not. There's so many people on those platforms doing so many different things. You get somebody doing like a cooking channel, somebody doing a fitness channel and whatnot. So we tend to like go with all these misconceptions, and people end up losing a whole lot of opportunities in life because they've heard something about OnlyFans, and they're not going to go onto that platform because they haven't done their research and figured out what they can benefit from it. So yeah, for me, yes, I do have an OnlyFans. It's not very active at the moment because I'm busy, but at some point later on, I will join back and make it busy and enjoy it. It's, I'm a woman, I'm free, yeah.
All right, all right. I'm glad you got spoke about it confidently,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people have had their own perceptions about you. They started saying different things about you, and again, you're outspoken. You never shied away from explaining yourself. So now my question is: did you get any people trying to pay you money so that maybe you can post full naked videos of yourself, or they try to sleep with you and all? And how much did you make through OnlyFans?
No, okay, with me, my whole life, I've always had all kinds of offers anyway. So I did not need OnlyFans to get those kind of offers. I get those offers every day of my life, of people offering money for this and that. And I think one of the reasons being somehow the world has decided that women who especially are built like I am, like my natural body that God gave me, it's kind of perceived as sexual. Whether you dress it one way or the other, it does not matter, you know. I've been to church, you know, where the pastor would be sort of making those advances at me when I'm literally fully covered and whatnot, just in church minding my own business, just because of my body shape. So I got to a point in my life where I just felt like, no, you know, I cannot sort of live my life with people dictating how I should be or how I should carry out myself just because of I was born in this body. You know, it does not make any sense. So no, I didn't start sort of getting offers and crazy, you know, proposals just because of OnlyFans. It's something that I've always had, and I still continue to have even now. And it's one of the reasons actually I ended up going into music academia, because being in the music industry as a woman, you know, the music industry is so male dominated, like the executives, the music executive, the producers and everything. So you always sort of encounter those situations where people are sort of wanting to, like, okay, a male artist can go in a studio, pay their studio fees and, you know, do their recording and go. But you're a female artist, you still have the same money, you can afford to come and pay for your studio fees and then do music and go. But sometimes the producer just thinks, nah, I can get the money, but I can also, you know, get sexual favors from her. So for me, I decided, no, I need to go back to school, go to university and learn all the skills, you know, so that I can be more independent. So I've always had that struggle, and it's part of my life that I've learned to accept and just learn to deal with it. And because otherwise, you'd be so depressed because you won't do anything. Everywhere you go, somebody is proposing something else. But no, that's just basically how it is. That's just my life. I'm used to it. Like men started approaching me and asking for stuff, or you know, from a very young age. Even when I was a underage girl, like I'm talking as young as 12 years old. You know, I was still having men sort of thinking they can sort of have advances with me. So it's something that you get over, you get used to over the years, and you just learn to live with it. So yeah.
All right, all right, all right. Just briefly, what message can you give to the young girl out there in terms of like protecting and taking care of themselves? Briefly.
Protecting and taking care of themselves in what sense exactly?
We're living in a dirty world at the moment. Yes.
We do, but the world, I don't really want to see the world as such an awful place, because yes, of course, you know, negative things happen all around us, but to be honest, the world is a beautiful place, and life in general is a privilege. We are privileged to be here. I come from a family where I've lost so many people, you know, including my mother. So I've learned to appreciate life in its entirety, you know, regardless of the challenges and everything. Everybody has problems. So for me, the only message I would have for young girls out there is just self-love. You know, when you love and respect yourself, you know, so many things you can conquer really. But yeah, it's just self-love. That's the only message I can give to girls out there, and just, you know, living their life truthfully, you know, authentically, and not sort of having people tell them how to live their lives and everything. Just love yourself and just do you. You know, that's that's technically my message. But because I don't really see myself as, I don't aspire to be anybody's role model or guardian in any way, you know, it's a difficult one, because I am not trying to tell girls how to be, but just, you know, if I can say just one thing, it would be like love yourself.
So before we shut it down, what's next for Lorraine Lionheart?
A lot. A lot. I'm excited about life, about music, about just where my life is going. I just hope I stay alive because I just want to see more. And you know, I have a son that I'm beautiful son that I'm raising, and I just want to see him grow up. You know, my mom never got to see this. You know,
Yeah.
like she would have been proud as hell. And I just want to stay alive and just you know, stay growing. I mean, for what I've accomplished so far, you know, I'm so proud of myself. Just a girl from the Kalahari that's out there putting Botswana on the map, really, to some degree. So, yeah, so there's so much to come from me. I'm determined, I'm focused to succeed in all of my dreams, and yeah.
All right. So in closing, what would be your parting words?
What would be my parting words? I would just like to say a huge thank you to every Motswana out there that supports me and encourages me and everything. I really appreciate it. Not just Botswana, anybody watching this, who support me. Even those who don't support me, I still really appreciate everybody. So I just want that's all I can say. Really, is a massive thank you. Since coming to Botswana, I wasn't able to sort of go around, see people, do a lot of things, and I just want them to know that it's because of very good reasons, because I'm focused and doing as much as I can with the little time I have here to promote Botswana with this big platform that I've been offered. But I love my country, I love Botswana, and